Hi folks! It's been a while, since our last vlog, my daughter and I, right? But today is a very special day because it's my daughter's birthday! Yay! Happy birthday, Hermish! Our last segment was all about inspirational quotes and also, one of our activities of shaving off my hair. This time around, we're gonna cook. I'm gonna cook for my daughter. What do you like to cook today? What do you like Daddy to cook for you?
Spaghetti.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Chicken.
Chicken and what else? Yeah, spaghetti, chicken, and some other stuff, right? You requested sushi, but maybe we'll do it some other days because I've tried to go there and there's no nori wrapper. By the way, today we're gonna cook and we have a lot of stuff right here on my left. All sort of things. Okay. For me, I'm a graduate of medical school. I'm a doctor by profession, but cooking for me is just like one of my subjects in medical school. It's chemistry. Put all those stuff, organic or inorganic, together, and they will just create a cool bunch of explosions, and that's actually what cooking is. It reminds me of one of my favorite cartoons or one of my favorite animated movies, Ratatouille. Have you watched the Ratatouille? Oh, why are you cleaning that up? We're gonna cook the food. So later, you can do that later. So, Ratatouille, it's a story about the mouse who ends up a chef, or a mouse who was a chef. There's a book there that Gustavus, says that everybody can cook. Everybody's a chef, actually. Everybody can be a chef. So let's try it today. We have a lot of ingredients here, and each and every one of them will be a part of our different recipes for today. So as you said, you want some spaghetti today, yeah? Okay, so today I'm gonna cook a local spaghetti, a little bit of fusion with a Western. It's Alugbati, spaghetti, and meatballs. Do you like it? Are you excited for that? And also a baked chicken with potatoes and some stuffings in there. And of course, last but not least, I'm gonna have my own concoction of my roasted chicken baked in the oven. What's this? Okay, tomatoes. It adds up to the acidity and also balances out the sweetness of your food, and that's what it's all about. So what is this?
Garlic.
Okay, so we have the garlic. Garlic is actually an ingredient that brings out the umami. Umami is like sort of a combination between sweetness, salty, and bitter. But it's very controversial using a seasoning that that brings out umami. But so at the moment, let's do it natural and organic. So if you would see, we got what we call onions. So we got onions in here, and this onion right here is rich in fiber, also rich in minerals. Onion brings out the aroma. Together with the ginger, both of them are aromatic, ingredients. And ginger is also a sort of a medicinal. In India or in some other parts of the world, ginger, which is also a relative of turmeric. Turmeric, which is medicinal, and they found a lot of benefits in that. We're going to talk about that one of these days. But the good thing about having herbs and spices and aroma, it brings out. It's sort of like a carrier for the food's aroma or the smell of the food, and brings out that sensation of smelling a goodness and brings out a goodness in your what you're cooking. Not only that, just so you know, our nose has a lot of receptors that receive molecules from the food so that you would appreciate your food more. Of course, lemon is a citrus flavor. It brings acidity, and at the same time it balances out the flavor that you have in your food. This is the most common, used for marinating and at the same time for garnishing your food. Other than that, we have bell pepper. Bell pepper is actually a one of the chilies, but this is Yep, it brings out a little spice, but not really spicy, like hot, they're real hot.
This one,
It's carrots, yeah.
this is my favorite.
Oh, carrot is your favorite. So carrot is actually a vegetable where it gives vitamin A.
Like, bunnies like this.
Yeah, bunnies, I don't know, for some reason they love eating carrots. And carrots are rich in vitamin A and also carbohydrates. We also got leeks, rich in fiber. You know, it also adds up to the tangy, flavor and oniony flavor, of your food. And of course, we have potatoes. It adds up to the texture as well as, a source of carbohydrates. We have here cilantro. Some people calls it cilantro or kinchay in the Philippines. It's a cilantro. It's for garnishing. It also adds up for, a little leafy taste. All right. Of course, we got all sorts of noodles. We got here fettuccine noodles, macaroni, and we got some linguine. Okay. And last but not least, the most important, this is macaroni noodles. For baked mac, yep. We're gonna use that. But your spaghetti will be fettuccine. We're gonna use the fettuccine noodles. So with our spaghetti, we call it Alugbati. This is our recipe. Our ingredient for the day. Alugbati in English, I think this is Malabar, nightshade, and the scientific name is Alba. Bella Alba. Okay, scientific name is Bella Alba. Sounds like Jessica Alba. But this is a very rich in fiber and at the same time proteins. Just like ordinary spinach, it has some zinc, magnesium, vitamin B complex, and lots of stuff. So this is a very nutritious food. It's readily available. In fact, I'm going to show you that I have one of these in my plant box there in front of our house at our porch. So later I'm going to share that to you. So we have the Alugbati, and it's part of our free recipes for today. And the free recipes I'm going to cook for you is first the Alugbati spaghetti with meatballs. Yeah?
Pasta.
Yeah, that's a pasta. Pasta. These are pasta. You call it pasta when you use noodles. You call them pasta. Other than that, we got a baked chicken with potatoes and bell pepper and some stuff like leeks and all sorts of stuff, herbs and spices. And of course, my own concoction of roasted chicken baked in the oven. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so for our onion, let's just cut both edges. And let's get rid of this edge right here. One on the other side. There you are. Okay, let's throw it in the garbage. Now let's unwrap the onion like so. They said, if you're really getting cooking, you shouldn't be crying due to onion. I'm just gonna get rid of this just to make an even, nice, clean onion right here. All right, so I'm gonna cut this into two. All right, and this is the way that you can mince out our onion for our spaghetti. The first recipe that we're going to cook today is Alugbati spaghetti with meatballs. Sounds yummy, isn't it? So we're gonna cut different levels of the onion so that we can mince it out. This is one of the techniques. Don't cut it through, just good enough, like 1/8. I don't know if you can measure it though, but just 1/8 of each, like so. Just be careful with a knife, all right, and once you cut that, just make some slits right here. Make some cuts right here, one right next to the other, up until you cut them into little cubes or minced onions. And the rest, you can just have a mechanical doing this. Just fold your finger and put it like so. You can have the other size. As long as they're minced, it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect square. As long as you mince your garlic, your onions. Alright, so here's our garlic. We're just gonna peel off our garlic right here. Just try to crash them. That's the. Here you go. So after crashing our garlic, try to mince them by trying to, make some small slices. The children hate biting something that is very pungent, very strong taste. So in order to get rid of them, you can just go ahead and mince them as much as you can. Mince them out. Really small pieces. You know what? I like mincing out garlic by using a bigger.
Dad, I don't know this gift.
Yeah, later you're gonna open your gift.
I'm guessing that's a bear.
Yeah, we're gonna unbox all your gift later. So there you are.
I'm guessing
That's one way to mince out a garlic.
I'm following that bear.
Just be sure you be careful of your hand. Try to fold them like so. Just what I've learned from the chef. Until you get that desired size of your garlic. Be sure everything is in place. Line them up like so. Especially those garlic are still a little bit big. Alright. Try to dust it off and like that. So alright, here you go. We got our tomato. I'm gonna put tomatoes in our sauce. We got a marinara sauce by San Benito, or any kind of sauce that you have, but I love putting real tomatoes. Of course, nothing could ever beat a real one, right? So tomato is the best recipe that we have for our spaghetti. Alugbati spaghetti with meatballs. Alright, so let's cut our tomato, cut them into two. You would see there are lots of seeds in there. Cut them into another half, and then let's get rid of this. Some people, they get rid of this because it's not, they said it's not good for your health. But for me, it is, because it has a lot of vitamin C, but I just want to get rid of it because of my gout. Okay, so let's cut the tomato and let's get rid of this. But this one adds up to the flavor, and at the same time it adds up to the sweetness. However, we have a lot of already of tomato sauce right here, and we just want to add the tomato, real tomatoes, to make it real and authentic tomato sauce. Cut them into strips. Cut them like so. Alright, so let's just finish this off. Make some strips.
What are you doing, Dad?
I'm cutting the tomatoes.
Oh, I thought.
And mincing them out like so. The cubes just almost the same size as our onions. Here's our tomato. So let's cut into strips. Put them in one angle. That's it. Okay, this is the way to do it so that we don't spill out. Just put it inside. Get it through that hole, this hole over here. Voila. Again, this is the whole Alugbati leaf. So from top, you work all your way down here until it's still soft. Remove the leaves. Hey, get rid of the cat. Come on. And then this one is still good enough for planting it back, and it will grow again and give you another produce. The produce is really very helpful, and this is self-sufficient, self-sustaining kind of, organic plants that you can just plant it at right at your backyard. In fact, this is just inside a plant box in front of our house, and it's good to go. There you are. So more leaves, except for the rotten ones. There you are. So we got the bunch of Alugbati. Can be used to a lot of recipes. In fact, you can also use this as an alternative for spinach or salad. Alright, so this is our ground beef. Some are incorporating that with like a little bit of pork, but I don't think that's a good idea for me. I wanted to have 100% pure beef in my meatball. So we're gonna make a meatball, or we're gonna make some meatballs for our spaghetti. And to start with, I'm gonna kick it off with salt and pepper. So before you season it, be sure you spread it out so you can evenly season your ground beef. Ground beef is perfect for spaghetti. But of course our superstar for our spaghetti is the Alugbati or the Malabar nightshade. There you are. So I think that's fair enough. All the meat will have their own share of the sauce. Okay. So just to be sure we're doing it right, I'm gonna put this in my palm and put it a little higher. Be sure that you're evenly distributing all the salt all over it, all around it. There you are. So put a little bit more salt and pepper. They always go together. Salt and pepper. So here's the thing. I want to make it more natural instead of putting some other seasoning. Okay, so just a little bit of that. Some kids, they don't like this, so some are putting totally ground pepper, like really fine ground pepper. Or because you don't want to put this kind of garlic in there, might as well use a powdered garlic, so that some kids, they hate feeling, tasting a bit of a garlic there, but powder would do the trick. At least they will add, our garlic powder adds up to the flavor without really tasting and biting a real garlic in there. Start from here and you work your way down here. Roll him over. Be sure that we're covering all parts of your meat. Alright, just to twist this a little bit, we have a salt and pepper and also powdered garlic. We wanted to add up a little spice in there, so we're gonna add a little paprika. Paprika, adds up to the spice and a little hot, taste of your beef. That's all about it. Not too much, because the kids will not love it if it's too much spicy and too much seasoning in there. Just make it more natural and even. There you are. All right, as you would see, our oil is already so hot. You can see the smoke coming out of the pan. We're gonna have a little bit of a deep fried meatballs. So turn it on again. Put it to minimum heat. There you are. So we're just gonna test the water. Alright. Okay, so it's so hot. There you are. We rolled our meat into balls and putting them one by one. Here is our marinated meatball that we mix with herbs and spices as well. Or simple meatballs with salt and pepper and a little bit of herb. Okay, so that's good enough. Keep it rolling. There you are. So it won't be overcooked or burnt or over toasted. It's good enough to make it brown, and since it's a ground meat, it easily cooks. So just let it. You don't have to add egg in this because it will just, taste like eggy kind of burger or patty. But this one is a meatball, pure 100% lean meat, pure beef. There you are. So it's well seasoned. Okay, so This is good enough as long as it's fairly brown. Alright, so we're gonna saute our first ingredients. We're gonna use olive oil. Okay, put a drizzle of olive oil. Actually, it's not a drizzle. But that's good enough. It's a good oil. Good cholesterol. Alright, so let's put a slice of butter. Butter first so we can avoid burning the garlic. I don't recommend burning the garlic. In fact, we're not supposed to put it brown. Alright, so let's put in the garlic. Garlic and butter. We don't really have to brown our garlic, just let it sweat it out there. And then we're gonna toss in our onion and tomatoes. Alright, so we're sauteing our onions, garlic, and tomatoes. And then afterwards we're gonna add, alright, we'll put our salt and pepper. Salt and pepper go together. There you go. So we have our sauteed garlic, onions, and tomatoes with salt and pepper. Then we're gonna add our rice wine. There you are. The rice wine will really magnify your flavors, and the alcohol in there will just dissipate, you know, will just evaporate, and that's just pretty fine. But the taste would really make it a little distinct, and will make it really, really delicious marinara, Alugbati in marinara sauce with spaghetti meatballs. Okay, so while we're mixing this up and sauteing your garlic, oil, and tomatoes, onions and tomatoes, instead of using a seafood stock or any kind of stock you have, or broth, you know, I would suggest you can also buy this in the market, a crab and corn powder. You know, just mix it with water, and you'll already make a good, tasty seafood broth. In fact, this is also used for you know, seafood chowder. I'm gonna show you how to cook a really delicious chowder. But at this moment, or at this time, we're gonna use this one as our broth. This solution is actually it contains crab meat, corn, perhaps onion shoots, and some other spices there, and of course some seasoning. So let's put it right in there. So this is so far what we put is an onion, tomatoes, garlic, and rice wine. Simmer it together with your crab and corn soup or crab and corn broth. As soon as it simmers, we're gonna put on the marinara tomato sauce. Alright, so let's wait for a simmering of these stuffed all together, the tomato, onions, garlic, and crab corn sauce soup, as well as olive oil in it. You know, now it's thickening because it contains cornstarch in it with the corn soup we have. So you might want to add a little bit of water, not to thicken it too much. So there you are. So we're making a sort of a super broth, but before it thickens really totally, and while it's simmering, we're gonna add our Alugbati leaves. Yay! So this is the Alugbati leaves. It's readily available in the market. We're just gonna remove and take off the stem, work from the top all the way down here, and then leave the tough stem and get rid of it. Or you can even plant this back and then grow him again. So there you are. We're gonna put our Alugbati leaves. Alright, so let it wilt for a while. You know, you don't really have to overcook him because this is like spinach. You can even eat them raw, or put them in, or make a salad out of it. So while it's thickening, you might want to get a glass of water. A cup of water.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so we're waiting till it simmers. So let me have a taste. Add a little seasoning, like a little salt and pepper. Because when that's the time when you put the sauce, you would be able to see that everything has adjusted. You know, but more or less the taste of our crab and corn and a different seasoning is still there. Now this is optional because this is for my kid. You know, I'm putting sugar. You know, kids, they love sweet instead of an Italian style of spaghetti. So it depends on your taste, but putting 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar with this kind of amount of tomato sauce is really good enough. Let's try to taste it though. For me, I like the sweet and sour kind of Italian spaghetti. It's a typical Italian spaghetti. Alright, so let it simmer. It's good to go when you see the separation of that sauce and the oil on top. We don't have to put the lemon because the marinara sauce that I got is really so sour, so I think we don't need this anymore. But when there's a seafood in there, it'd also be better to put some lemon. But since we don't have any seafood that we incorporated in there, we might as well just get rid of this. Wait till it boils completely and just let's put the lid on. Alright, this time I'm going to boil our fettuccine. While the water is ready boiling, let's put our salt, just a tablespoon of salt. It's pretty good enough. And let's drizzle some olive oil so you won't have any sticky noodles. It separates our noodles and makes it more al dente. Let's wait till it boils and let's pop in the noodles. Alright, so we got our noodles, our fettuccine noodles. I'm going to split it into 2. Try to spread them out. There you are. And put it into boiling. Alright, so I would suggest for you to stir this up a little bit. Just to avoid sticking, to avoid the noodles sticking to each other.
12 seconds later.
Alright, our noodle is ready. It's all set. Let's now combine it with Alugbati in marinara sauce and meatballs. So this is my Alugbati spaghetti with meatballs. Let me just taste test. That's how it tastes.
Is that a vlog?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is our meat. A very simple meatball. I can say it. The meat is so 100% pure beef with a lot of a lot of herbs and spices in there. And it's really yummy. It goes together with the marinara sauce and white rice wine and all the seasoning. It's good. Also goes perfect with baguette or French bread with butter and garlic. Please subscribe and don't forget to smash that bell button.